Hey, welcome back to class. Let's go ahead and start with our warm-up. So the first thing that we're gonna do for our warm-up today is we're gonna do our overhead squats. Let's go ahead and do 10 of those. And go ahead. Move one. Make sure that when you're down, you should be able to wiggle your toes because the weight should be in your heels. 2, 3, 4. Try to keep your arms straight with your back. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's go ahead and let's do 12 stick push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And back up. And let's pump our legs a little bit. Twist our wrists. Other wrist. Raise the elbow. Again, raise the elbow, other side. Chest openers. Keep pumping those legs. Keep your heels up when you're pumping these legs, right? Don't just kind of here. Okay. When you're staying up, and kind of lift the foot off the ground, just barely, just enough so the ball of the foot doesn't touch the ground. Sets it right back down. Backward arm circles, nice and big. Feel that full range of motion. Forward arm circles. All right, slow down on feet, head, forward, backwards, side, side, front, back, side to side. Get a little bit of stretch in there for each one of these. We're not going too fast. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's practice our footwork. So we're gonna do our reverse triangle first, stepping for that one angle to the two angle. 1, 2. You can go big if you'd like. All right, expand this out. That's fine. You can do small. You can do like a switch step where both feet can move at the same time. All right. Sometimes you'll do that. Sometimes you'll move completely back and then change, especially if it's on this forward line and then a side line. All right, so if I'm on that 8 angle and I go back to 0 and then cut off to that 4 angle, or the opposite, I'm on the 8 angle, go to 0 and then the 4 angle, or the 3 angle, right? It's the same thing. So I'll be here, and then I go up that way, and I'm here, and I go up that way, face that way, and that way. All right, so that's our kind of an invasion. Moving back and cutting that angle. Moving back and cutting that angle. Moving back, cutting that angle. Let's do a few more. All right. If you want to practice something like that, you're more than welcome to. Just face that angle and face this angle like you're running off to it. Now you're here and you're running off that way. Okay. Forward triangle now. So we're gonna go back to that 5 line and the 6 line. stick in the hand, move it around, maybe just getting into different chambering positions. All right, let's go ahead and work on our side stepping. So we're gonna go on that 3-4 line now. 3, 4, 3, 4. I'm turning my chest 45 degrees as I do this. 45 degrees. Stepping offline, pulling this one back. I could strike on these if I like. Since I'm turning that hip, it allows me to be able to strike and have a little bit of power in there. I could be blocking. Whatever you want to do. 3 line, 4 line, 3, 4. Deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're going to review our 8 angles of striking. All right, so just go ahead. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do it just with this rocking motion. Turning the hips, rocking back and forth. Nice and fluidly, going through each one of these strikes. Whoosh, and I'm not going super hard or fast. If you want to put a little power into it, it's fine. A few more. And other side, same thing, just rocking back and forth. Nice and fluidly at first. If you want to go have a little bit of whoosh, that's fine. Or the first few, you just want to paint it. Big strokes. Make sure on that 7, if you're doing it like me, because I'm doing it with the thrust out, when you go on that 7, make sure that you actually reach out and then come up, right? Instead of just doing this. Reach forward and up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. More. One more. Switch back to your dominant hand. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to do the 8 angles, but we're gonna do them while walking forward and backward. Now, I actually don't have enough room in here. Even from here to here isn't really enough room for me. I should have probably about 50% more space for what I should actually be doing. So I'm gonna be cutting this short. You will probably also be cutting these short, and it's okay. I just want you to kind of get the idea of it. So what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be walking forward and striking, okay? So I'm gonna step first with my right foot, 1, step with my left foot, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'm gonna step back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I hit the wall, right? 8. Okay, and that's why I say I don't have enough room. And as I talked about before, when we start to speed up things, right? So this would be more of a, right? I get to 4 and I'm off the mat. I'm hitting the wall. So I should have more space, maybe double the space for actual speed. But for right now, let's go ahead and just work on feeling the motion at the same time with our steps, right? That's all we're gonna do. Ready? Step first with the right foot. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and back. Left foot steps back first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put my hand up there so I don't hit the wall again. And now let's step with the left foot first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And right foot steps back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just paint this. Again, left foot steps first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now what I want you to do is the same thing, but I want you just walking forward and you can change the pace of the strikes. So let's say I take 4 steps forward, but now I'm basically doing 2 strikes per step, and I'm still painting, right? I'm not massively swinging right now. I'm just kind of, I talked about this last time, painting, and I'm not striking super hard. I'm just trying to get motions down. So I'm not gonna tell you have to take 4 steps with all 8. You might take 3 steps with all 8. You're not gonna take 2. You might take 5 steps, right? 3 to 5 steps with this as you strike these. So you're gonna paint a little bit faster than what you're stepping, but I want it to be fluid, right? Notice when I'm doing this, I'm not really choppy with anything. I just wanna flow through my motions without doing this, right? My feet are just stepping as if I'm walking at a slow, leisurely pace, and my arms are going slightly faster than my legs. Ready? Begin. And then walk backwards. You don't have to start with a specific one. Again, I just want a nice flow with this. Keep it going. Get out of here, Bob. In my way. All right, now let's go ahead and let's change it. Left side or non-dominant side, whichever side. We're going to try to take a step with each one of these. Again, I'm going to be cutting them short due to space. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A few more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now let's start with stepping with the other leg. So I step first with my left that time. Now I'm going to step with my right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Now this would be your power side if we were doing 1 for 1. Right? I step with my opposite foot, and I can hit hard with each one of these. Right now, again, nice and easy. And I just want to focus on doing one step with one strike. And one more time, both ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now we're going to do less steps, more strikes. Still painting it, right? Nice and easy. I'm not swinging for the fences, trying to put holes in everything. Nice and easy, less steps, a little bit higher speed on the strikes, and begin. And this should be a nice leisurely motion. I'm just working on trying to make it so we can feel natural striking and moving forward or backwards. Still trying to hit with that blade edge each time. If you have a training sword, you're more than welcome to use that. Time forward and backward. All right, take a breath. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our angle 4 double strikes. So we've been working on our double strikes series, going through them, just kind of building them up. This is going to be our number 4. So we're going to start off in our side load position, our 4 chamber position. Strike through, hit that broken, bring it back, and strike again. And when I bring this back, I'm going to flip over. Palm is going to go towards the top of my head, and then I circle back again. All right, so with the 3, I bring the back of my hand to my head. With my 4, I bring my palm to my head, and I go through it. So nice and slow. No movement, no footwork at least. You can have a little bit of turn if you'd like, but let's go. Get that broken strike, hit that center, flip it over, and hit that 4 again. Right. Try to have these relatively high. It's easier to get the second 4 strike at a higher angle. If I was striking down here, I would probably actually use a circular 2 to cut down there instead of a 4. But I could go 4 down low, 4 up high. I can do that easier than I could go 4 high, 4 low. I can do it, right? It just can feel a little janky sometimes. All right, let's practice still here. This is another one where I might have hit it with the back edge of the blade. And I say that because the turn over, right? After I go here, I have to turn it over so that my palm goes up to be able to strike. If I was doing a back strike, it already facilitates that, right? We're not getting into that too much, but I just wanted to talk about it, that that's not wrong. It's just not what we're doing right now. And cut through. 4, 4. 4, 4. Hit that. Right when you get to that broken strike area, flip it and fluid through. 4, 4. Boom, boom. 4, 4. 4, circular 4. That one was kind of like a 2. So if you find yourself striking and then your second one looks kind of like a circular 2, right? So see how that comes down at that 2 angle. That's fine. It's just not what we're doing right now. There's nothing wrong with doing that when you're actually striking. So don't beat yourself up for it, but I do want you to try to focus on getting back onto that 4 line, right? We're focusing on our angles right now. But if I wanted to go for that 2 angle, perfectly fine when I'm actually striking, just not whenever I have a set pattern in mind, because that means I'm doing it wrong based off of what I'm telling my body to do. This is more of a bodily control type thing right now. So not wrong, just not what we're doing. We want to always be in control of the angles. Sometimes with the left it's not as easy for me, and the angles are, I want it to be an 8, but it turned out to be a 1. You know, it changes a little bit. So again, that goes back to having control over our own body. When I want it to be a 4, it should be a 4. I shouldn't give myself a 1 or, you know, a 2 or an 8 whenever I'm doing this. If I told myself it needs to be a 4, it needs to be 4. Okay, now we're gonna do this with a little bit of footwork. We're gonna do that same progressing step footwork that we've been working with all of these, right? So from the side, I'm here, I'm set up, I'm going to step with that first 4, sliding step with the second, that circular 4. Step, sliding step. Step, sliding step. Step, sliding step. Step, sliding step. 1, 2. 1, 2. Step, sliding step. 4, 4. 4, 4. 4, 4. 4, 4. 4, 4. All right. Keep working that. I'm going to talk about something that I've noticed that I'm doing a little bit, and I want to try to break it. Some of the time when I do this progressing step footwork, right, where I go with that step and then a sliding step, I feel myself really heavy on this front foot, right? And sometimes I have to be whenever I'm reaching, but if I go too heavy here and I have too much forward momentum, right, I can almost make it where I'm falling forward and I'm tripping myself up, which means I'm not gonna be able to exit cleanly, and I'm probably gonna get hit. Because when I'm striking at them, they're striking at me. Unless they're blocking, they're striking at me, right? And I always wanna be thinking that, unless they're blocking, they're striking at me. So, if I come in here and I stumble forward, boom, then I have to fight in the pocket for a second and I'm getting hit. I wanna be able to, I'm not gonna use Bob this one, but I'm gonna go boom, boom, but I need to be able to exit out fast, right? So I can hit here and I can cut the corner, should be able to hit and move back. Just try not to get in the habit of over committing, right? If there's like no weight in my back foot, I'm too committed. I can lean here, but I can also sink down a little bit. So now I still have some in my back foot and my leg is prepped. If my leg is straight, this front leg is straight and I'm reaching, and especially if my shoulders are over my toes and not slightly behind my knees, then I don't have much press backwards. But if I lean forward and I can put one shoulder in front and I bend my knees as I do this, now I can press off easily, and ideally I didn't go too far over, right? If I go here, I'm toppling over. I have too much weight, too much forward momentum at that point. So I need to sink down so that I'm not over, right? If my hip is over my heel, then I'm going forward, right? I'm taking a step, like ideally, I'm striking and kind of blasting through them because I can't stop, right? I can't stop and be able to move back and assume that I don't get hit, right? So sometimes if you have too much forward momentum, you kind of have to just crash into them and then exit. That can be a safer option than stumbling forward right in front of your opponent. All right, enough of that. Hopefully you were still practicing while I was talking about that, but I want you to understand some of the nuances with footwork, because footwork's important. If you haven't gotten that by now, there's a reason. I forgot the first class, but every class has had footwork. The first class might not have, because we might have just gone over mechanics, but short of that, every class has had footwork, and all these strikes have a footwork associated with them, because we need to know how to move around and not just hit really hard in place, okay? All right, left hand, without moving around, 4, cut through, circular 4. 4, palm of the head comes towards my forehead, circular 4, bring it through. 4, circular 4. If I want to just focus on the hips, I'd start with my hip back, turn it to the front. As I'm bringing this up and around, I turn my hip back towards the back, and then through the front again. And that's how it would be getting power with these strikes. It would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The cool thing is this actually kind of in the middle of it does like a 5 block. I know we haven't gotten to blocks, but you've heard me say them a few times, so maybe you understand. But this is what a 5 block looks like. Here, it does it on its own as we're rechambering back. Which is kind of cool because sometimes people might strike at us. Granted, because it's not an intentional block, it would be more of a deflection than a block, where they might hit it and it might mess us up a little bit. It might also propel our stick around for a stronger strike. Debatable, depends on where it gets hit and the timing of it. But if it's an unintentional block, sometimes they're good because you don't get hit, but sometimes they just kind of mess up what you're doing. So they have their perks and their downfalls, I guess. Pros and cons. 1, 2, practice that chambering of the hips. Boom, unloading for that 4, bring it back and unload again. Chamber, strike, chamber, strike. Okay, now we're going to do it with our progressing step or progressing footwork. Right. So, step, sliding step. Step, sliding step. Step, sliding step. Remember, our step is our short step. Sliding step is a long step. 1, 2. Blade edge hits, blade edge hits. 1, 2. 1, 2. 4, circular 4. 4, circular 4. 4, 4. 4. sliding step. 4, circular 4. Step, sliding step. 4, 4. And take a breath in and out. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do angles 1 through 4, double strikes. So it'll look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's it. So we can move our hips for our strikes, but I don't want you doing any stepping just yet. And this one, we probably won't really do much stepping because you're not gonna strike like this. This is a drill for practicing moving the body. This is not an actual fighting drill. What we just did, you could use that in a sparring match. I can't really go, I mean, I could, right? It's too many. It's too many circulars in sequence. You can do it, but I don't quite recommend it. I think you're probably just gonna get hit. These ones are really good for kind of surprising or cutting the beat, right? The time. We'll talk a little bit about beats, right? So each strike, right, is a beat, and this is like a beat and a half, right? So I'm here, I break the time, but because I'm already kind of in place, I can hit another one before it would be a 2 beat, right? So this would be 1, 2, 1, 2, that's a 2 beat. And that's like a beat and a half. So we're going at the same pace for the first strike if you're doing a 1 and I'm doing a 1. But then if you're going for a 2 and I hit that, that'll hit slightly before your 2 is gonna hit. Now that doesn't mean that your 2 is not gonna still throw, because chances are boom, boom, and then that 2 is coming, so I need to address it by footwork or blocking. But ideally, I am slightly faster than you with this because it's a 1.5 beat strike versus a 2 beat. Okay, so try to think of that as the time it takes. And now you also have to realize, keep doing this, some people are just faster and some people are just slower. So a beat of time for me might be faster than a beat of time for you. Or it could be slower, maybe you're faster than I am. So, you know, it can be different for each person, but ideally if we're similar, right, at a certain level, people are relatively similar, and so it comes down to timing more than speed, right? Because most people can strike at similar speeds, but when we have that timing and we break timing, that's when you'll start to actually get more hits and ideally get hit less. Strike the broken, go through. Strike the broken, go through. See your angles, right? Make sure that's a 1 and a 1. It's a 2 and a 2, a 3, and that's a 1, right? So a 3 and a 3, a 4 and a 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it going. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of footwork. It's not gonna be anywhere near as much. All I want you doing is I want you to be stepping on your, when you're doing your 2 side, I want you to step out with that left, right? So you do a 2 or you do a 4. You're stepping and then coming back. So in line, 1, 1, step off line, 2, 2, in line, 3, 3, off line, 4, 4. All right, so nothing crazy here. We're just doing a slight step to that 2 angle. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 2, to, you could go 1, 1. Now notice, when I go 1, big 1, that's 2 beats, right? Try to analyze the time it takes me to do this. Versus right, you can see what I'm kind of talking about, that 1.5 to 2 beats. The double, the big double is 2 beats. The small double is 1.5 beats, okay? So just be aware of that. So a few more, same thing. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And we really only do the big ones on 1 and on 2. Right? We don't really do big ones on 3 and 4 and 5, 6, or 7 and 8. Mostly on the 1 and the 2. And that just comes down to how much time it takes. If I wanted to do say a 3, and then I bring it here, right? I can immediately throw that 1, but then it takes a little bit longer to come back around, and it's a little bit more movement. Right? This is an easier motion versus here and then down, right? It requires even more muscles. It just takes longer. To me, it doesn't make as much sense. It can still work though, right? Especially if you kind of trick people with it. So just be aware of that. But typically, we're only going to do the big motions on the 1s and the 2s. That's the way I'm going to teach it, at least. If you want to practice it on your own, the big motions on the others, you're welcome to. Maybe you'll like it. Okay, let's go ahead and let's switch. Standing here, left foot in front, and we're just going to strike in place. So no stepping just yet. Make sure we hit that blade edge right to that center line. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. I guess I do big ones. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Try to keep those angles nice and crisp. I know this is our non-dominant hand. Might not feel as nice. Understand. I don't like it as much either, but there's no point of only practicing one side. All right, let's be honest. How often are you actually going to get in a stick fight? And if you say often, it better be sparring or go into like the Dog Brothers or something. You're not going to get into an actual stick fight on the street, hopefully. If you do, well, you'll be more ready than the other guy, but I don't recommend it. Okay, let's do it with the steps. So we're gonna step, angle 2 stepping on our 2 and on our 4 strikes. Ready? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Ooh, that was not a 3 on the second one. 4, 4. Keep those angles nice. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. One more. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Take a breath in and out. Next thing we're gonna do, free flow. Right, so I'm gonna set a timer for 3 minutes, and we're just gonna play around, move as you strike. If you have something, if you have a bob and you wanna strike it, go for it. If you just wanna practice moving and striking, also go for it. I just don't want you staying still and just striking around. I want you to move. 3 minutes, ready, begin. However you decide to move, that's fine. You can be nice and fluid and slow. Mix up your strikes however you want. The goal here is moving and fluidity. Not trying to, I guess if you want, you can really start ripping some, but it's still fluid, right? I still want to be fluid with it. I would recommend, at least for now, since this is only class 13, unless you have a lot of other experience with this, just practicing painting and moving. Painting and moving. Left hand. Your left hand didn't forget you, don't forget it. I don't even know what that means, so don't ask. No idea. Practice those double strikes. Practice just right with angle strikes. You can practice footwork. 20 more seconds. Keep it going. And that's time. All right, take a breath. Breathe in and out. Now I'm going to quickly recap the things that we went over in today's class. After doing our warm-up, we did our footwork. So we had our reverse triangle here. Then we went to our forward triangle, and we did sidestepping on our 3-4 line. After that, we worked our 8 angles, just practicing our 8-angle striking like we've been doing. From there, we went and we did it with a step with each. I don't have very much room for it, so I cut my step short, but I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the same thing going backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I just painted it, right? So painting those nice soft strokes rather than here. We could do that as well. And then we sped up our hands, but we left our feet at that same pace. So I might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, doing 2 strikes per step so that we kind of unlocked the hands and feet not quite being exactly in sync, and that's okay. After that, we practiced our angle 4 double strikes. So we're doing it with that small motion. We brought it back in as we went for our second one. So we went to that broken line, brought it back in and around, and our second one. Then we did it with footwork with our progressing step. So we did a step as we did our first one, and then a sliding step as we went for our second one. After that, we put angles 1 through 4 together with our double strikes. So we went 1, 2, 3, make sure we're going down those same angles, don't change the angle, 4, and then we did the same thing with a little bit of stepping to the angle 2, so we went 1, 1, and then as we did angle 2, we stepped to the angle 2 line, 2, 2. As we went 3, we stepped back to that angle 7 line, 3, 3, and then back, 4, 4. And of course, we did that on both of our sides. From there, we did a little bit of free flow, just playing around, making sure that our hands and our feet are moving at the same time. We're not just staying still and striking and trying not to be choppy. We did nice fluid strikes, just painting the picture as we're moving around, relatively independent of each other. Okay, we just wanted to work on that. And that's what we did in today's class. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by liking the video. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. Tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, tell me what you want to see more of, or maybe what you want to see less of. Other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.